And he said that 99 of those people will give up before they make 100 videos. And the person who actually makes it to 100 doesn't need his advice
Doesn't need to
anymore.
go back, yeah.
And so I think but the fact that 99 of them gave up is I mean, that's really what it is. It's just like, do you have the endurance, if not stubbornness, to keep it going? In any business endeavor, in any investing endeavor, what you're really getting paid for is to put up with uncertainty and pain. And most people they realize that they're going to cry uncle sooner than they thought. And that's okay. I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of.
Right.
But the people who don't make it are the ones or the people who do make it are the ones who are just like, I have such a high tolerance for pain. Mm-hmm. I've heard this about Navy SEALs too, that when Navy SEALs start, you got the big, burly, 6'4", bulging guys. And then you got the skinny little guys who are like 5'7" and kind of pudgy. There is no telling early on which one of those people are going to make it, because what actually is going to help you to make it, to actually get to the finish line, is just your tolerance for pain.
That's it, man.
And the scrawny guy might have a super tolerance for pain. I remember when Obama met the Navy SEALs who killed bin Laden, he had this comment where he was like, I was stunned at how ordinary
they just look like average dudes. Yeah.
He said half of them could have been like high school principals.
Exactly.
But their tolerance for pain was off the chart, and that's why they got where they were. And I think that's a great analogy for people who make it in business and investing in any career.
That's amazing. So that was, you said luck, short-termism. What was the third one? The tolerance and pain?
I think yeah. That's that. I would put them in those order, in that order of what it is.
It's interesting you say that, because people come to me all the time when they want to launch a podcast. I'm 10 years in and start 10 years this year. And they're like, what's the secret? And I go, to be honest, like, I've just been showing up 3 times a week for 10 years. Yeah. I wish I was a lot smarter than I am. Like, I'm not as smart as a lot of people who are launching shows and going super viral and building it really quickly. I've just showed up consistently and tried to be better every time. I try to improve myself. I try to learn. I try to research, and I just keep showing up. And a lot of people do it for 6 months, 2 years, and they stop.
Yeah.
Or whatever. They want to grow faster than they are, and they get discouraged. And I'm like, okay, I just kind of ride the waves.
Yeah. Before I wrote a book, I wrote 3,500 blog posts over the course of 17 years.
Right.
Of those 3,500, I think 3,000 of them sucked.
Yeah.
And I would admit that they sucked. So the pain and the endurance that it took to get to that point where I was like, okay, now I think I'm ready to write a book.
17 years.
17 years, yeah. And I probably could have written a book after year 5 or something,
right.
But it wouldn't have been very good. To get to a point where I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to do this, was 17 years of writing every single day.
And even then, the book could have done 5,000 sales.
Absolutely. That's what we thought it would do.
Wow.
And I see this a lot with new bloggers as well, where they'll be like, I started a blog and I wrote 2 posts and nobody read it, so I gave up. And I'm like, yeah, you got to write 3,000 more. And by the way, if you can keep that up, people are going to every day, they're going to tell you how dumb you are, how bad of a writer you are, and you just got to bite your lip and endure it.
Endure it. Yeah, because it's like the first year, you're not going to get a lot of praise. Maybe once in a blue moon, there's a few people that like are just incredible writers and they get viral or something, but that's very rare.
Yeah.
It's like you have to go through a year of no one watching, listening, or reading your stuff.
Or not even one, maybe 10 years.
Might be 10 years.
It might be 10 years. Now, I think
you may not just be that good either.
That's
like,
the thing.
You've got to know if you actually got some skill or not.
So how do you determine what is patience versus stubbornness?
Right.
Maybe it's like, no, keep going and you'll get there, versus like, hey, this isn't your thing. You should quit and give up.
When do we know that?
I think with hindsight is when we know that. I'm not sure there's actually a good way to know it. And I think there have been things in my life where I was stubborn and not patient. There have been other things where I look back and I'm like, oh, I was appropriately patient. But other things, it's like, man, I wish I would have kind of quit before that, particularly like different styles of writing that I've experimented with.
I mean, but Morgan, you seem like the most, consistent human. 17 years, 3,500 plus articles. You've invested for 20 years the same way. You probably have everything automatic payments coming through in all these different places. Like, you seem organized, you seem structured, you seem humble. You focus on values, family, relationships, not trying to be powerful or have status, things like these things. But what is your biggest weakness?
Oh, I think I'm definitely a worst case scenario thinker. And I definitely, including recently this week, can become kind of wrapped up in stress and anxiety.
Really?
Which I think virtually everyone listening to this has some degree of that. Mine's probably a little bit above average. But definitely when I look back, if I could tell myself something 20 years ago, if I go back to 20-year-old Morgan and say something, I would be like, it's all going to work out. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun all the time, but it's all going to work out. And I look back at most of my adult life and I'm like, man, I wish I had just lightened up a little bit.
Really?
I was, including, like I said, this week, wake up at 2 a.m. fretting about something. And to an extent, I think that's good, because I think without an appropriate level of stress is a motivator. And stress is like, hey, there's a problem. How can I fix it? How can I nip this in the bud? So some stress is great, but of course you can overdo it. And that's my weakness, is blowing things out of proportion.